Reddy ji, why you have chosen Africa and not India for future expansion?
Actually, we are one of the first farms, floriculture farms in India. The experience in the last 12-13 years has not been good from India. Producing out of India and exporting to Europe or Far East has been very difficult because we cannot produce for more than say about 5 odd months in a year. That's about it. I mean, beyond that, the temperature is very difficult to grow. I mean, it's very warm. Once we get into March, it gets very warm, and right up to July, and then the monsoon time and all that. So, since we are unable to produce quality stems year around, we were unable to supply year around export quality, and that's the reason the export markets did not accept Indian flowers in general, and that was a problem with Neha also. So the company in India has not been doing so well, though we have started in 1994. Then I was traveling in Africa, and I was going through Ethiopia, and noticed that the temperatures there are very ideally suited for floriculture. So I was keen on starting a farm there. We started I went there, the first time I've gone there was in 2001, and there was hardly a farm there at that time. There's just one farm actually, 1-2 hectare farm or so. So you can say we are one of the pioneers there. And we started a small farm and grew every year from there to about 30 hectares of growing now. We have 100 hectares of land. We have 30 hectares of growing at this point of time. We would like to add another 30 hectares and this year in 08-09, and maybe another 40-50 hectares in 09-010. Reason we have chosen Africa is unlike what others think. Ethiopia generally gives you a picture of a famine-ridden, drought-prone kind of area, but these are countries which have abundant rainfall, but because of lack of infrastructure, lack of investments, lack of irrigation facilities, there have been problems. But the areas where we grow, these are very high altitudes, plus 8,000 feet altitudes of Uti and etc. Excellent weather to grow roses, nice warm days, cool nights, good water, labor's cheap, it's closer to Europe, our freight cost is much lower. Out of India we pay a lot of duties into Europe, from Africa we don't pay any duties. There are several advantages that we have had, besides of course having the weather as a major advantage. So we could export year around, consistent quality, consistent quantities, so the market was liking it, excellent quality, and then our costs were lower. As I said, it's lower freight cost, the duties weren't there. These two also made a very significant difference. That's why we have chosen Ethiopia. Kenya has been a role model for Ethiopia. Kenya is very big time into horticulture, floriculture specifically, and horticulture in general, and that's a model which Ethiopia is trying to replicate. The government is very friendly. They have been giving a lot of SOPs like tax incentives. There's a 5-year tax holiday. All the duties on imports are all the imports are duty free, and yeah, I think the land is given on lease by the government. We don't buy it, very low lease amounts. Yeah, those are the advantages we have seen out of Ethiopia. That's why we are growing there.
So your business model is very attractive. What would you like to say about the business model?
See, the business model is like this. The parent company will continue to be, will be Neha, which is an Indian company, that is Neha International Limited. The growing is in Africa. The exports are to Europe and Far East. This is the business model. Now, the Ethiopian companies have been started independently, where Neha was not involved at that point of time. But now what we are doing is we are bringing all these companies under the umbrella of